actually worked. Hello, friends. Sir Disney here with AJ, per usual, and it is the beginning of October. But because I was home throughout pretty much the middle to the end of September, this is going to be your September video for our Oscar predictions. And actually, we will be doing another video at the end of this month for October. So, AJ, start with a couple housekeeping ideals of what happened while I was gone.
Well, I guess we'll start with the Foxcatcher controversy.
Yeah.
The teaser trailer for Foxcatcher got online.
Okay.
Everyone saw it, and it was glorious.
Got it.
It was only a minute long, but it got everyone hyped.
Of course.
Maybe an hour later or less, Sony released a comment that all the videos were taken down, and it was not supposed to get out. Somehow it leaked, and Foxcatcher is now getting pushed to 2014.
Someone got fired on that one.
And they're probably gonna. It was probably because the season is so stacked.
Oh yeah.
So obviously they're going for awards, which means after that awesome trailer, we now won't see Foxcatcher for another year.
It's like Gravity.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. It's this year's Gravity.
There's the Wolf of Wall Street controversy, where it's obviously not going to be done in time for November 15th, which has been its release date forever.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying really hard to get it at Christmas. But the clock's still going off as well.
Yeah, it made a weird noise. Sorry, guys.
Scorsese has a 3-hour cut that he's in love with.
Mm-hmm.
Paramount wants the movie at 2 hours.
True.
Roughly. Those are rough numbers. So Scorsese basically has to cut an hour out of it, and they say if he's not done by Christmas, it'll probably do... since Paramount made so much money off Shutter Island being released in February,
yeah,
they'll just do that instead.
I would be the middle ground and not do 3 hours, not do 2 hours. I do like 2:15, 2:20, and
I think that's more of like...
That makes the most sense to me. I mean, don't forget we've got Prisoners out right now, which is, 2:40 with trailers and everything?
2:33 for real.
Yeah, so 2.5 hour movie would work.
Apparently, Grades of Monaco is out of the race after a teaser trailer was released.
Like you do.
Because there was a lot of buzz around Kidman, and some people were talking about Tim Roth too. And everybody loved the teaser, but it doesn't have any particular like date information. Mm-hmm. It just won't be. It's like I think March is what it is. So yeah, they don't care about it apparently.
We'll be talking about Tim Roth actually tomorrow. Spoiler.
And did I miss anything? Apparently Amy Adams probably most likely isn't going to be in the race for American Hustle because nobody knows what fucking category she's in.
Okay.
Because I had gotten word that everybody assumed she was supporting. Everybody was predicting her in supporting. Then word got out that she was going to be campaigned in leading, so we started predicting her in leading. Apparently some word got out that she's back in supporting, but now nobody knows. But everybody's basically saying people probably don't want to deal with it and we'll just go after Lawrence or something.
I wish you would have told me that before we started filming.
And I think the last time we did a video, Streep was still in supporting. Streep is now officially being campaigned and leading, and if I heard correctly, Roberts is going supporting.
Yes, that's what I heard. I heard Roberts was supporting. I
think that's all the new stuff.
Okay. And a lot of new trailers have been released, actually, so. Okay. So, like we did before, and like we're going to do until the actual Oscar ceremony, we are, which I made into a lot more, like a hyphenated word, basically, ceremony for some reason. A lot more syllables than there should have been. Sorry about that. Okay, so what we're doing here is, if you are new to these videos, it is the big 8 categories. Which, of course, AJ, of course, since I can't do math, go right ahead and rattle off what we're going to be getting today.
You mean the categories?
Yes.
Actor, director, actor, actress, supporting actress. Original screenwriter, adapted screenplay.
Rolls right off his tongue.
Why is that so hard for you to remember?
Well, because I don't want to miss anything, and I've been calling it the Big 6 for so long, I don't remember, so. Anyway, I will say right now, I don't know about AJ's, but my predictions have changed quite a lot.
Oh, one more thing.
Go ahead.
Philomena, I think is how you say it.
Yes.
The Judy Denchman.
Mm-hmm.
Weinstein moved it from a limited release on Christmas to November. And apparently he made a statement saying he's going to push the shit out of it.
All right, that makes it easier. Okay. So like we do here, we're going to go through all the categories, all of the 8 categories, and we're going to give our opinions. And I think, I haven't ran this by you yet, but once we get towards like December and January, I think we should start putting in documentary and animated as well.
Well, our last video will be the end of December.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think we should start doing documentaries and animated features at the end of the last video in December. So we can have 10 categories to roll us into predictions, and then of course we'll do our real predictions once we get really into it in 2014.
Short list by then.
Exactly. That's the reason I thought that'd be a good idea. Obviously, it's way too early to do that right now, but we'll see what happens. All right. So we're going to start off with, we're going with adapted or original?
Adapted.
Okay, we're going with best adapted screenplay. So AJ, per usual, start us off.
Before I say anything, I'm not confident in these.
I'm not extremely confident in these.
I think adapted's going to be really weird.
Yeah.
Unconfidently, I have August, Before Midnight, Blue is the Warmest Color, Philomena, and 12 Years a Slave.
Interesting.
The movie that's driving me insane right now is fucking Captain Phillips.
Yeah.
I have no idea, because I kept wanting to put it in there in place of Before Midnight or Blue is the Warmest Color, but I decided not to.
Yeah. My love for Captain Phillips isn't really quite there yet. It's more than it was last time, but
it helps that we're less than a week away from it. Though.
Yeah, it does. We're actually going to be watching it Thursday, so good times. All right. Obviously, he hasn't seen my predictions. I haven't seen his. Ours are pretty similar, yet quite different. So my adapted would be August, and I ran Blue is the Warmest Color. I also ran Before Midnight, which is something that you pretty much convinced me to do because it makes sense if you really think about it. I ran The Monuments Men, which I have a lot more hope in than a lot of people do, and definitely the winner that everybody seems to be saying is a lock right now is 12 Years a Slave.
The Monuments Men, much like Captain Phillips, is driving me insane because I don't know what to do about it.
I've taken it in my own hands to run The Monuments Men for a lot of things, but I really didn't do that with Captain Phillips. It's funny because I never remember what's adapted and what's original. I had Rush in here, and I didn't realize that I thought Rush was adapted from something, but it's not. So I ended up bumping it out and putting Blue is the Warmest Color in, which I don't want to put in there. Philomena was my other option as well, and it will show up later on in the predictions. But I will.
Philomena would be great because we would finally The Trip.
Yes,
we would finally have Academy Award nominee
Steve Coogan. It's about time too. So yeah, that's my predictions. Before Midnight, I kind of slid that in there, and it's kind of like I said, I went on pretty much what AJ was saying. I'm thinking for myself, obviously, but when it comes down to it, he obviously is the Oscar guru here. So I would say that I would probably put a little bit more stake in what he would say versus what some J-Brain on the internet would say. So. But then again, we're J-Brains on the internet too, so there you go. No, I do think I have a lot of faith in the Monuments Men, and I actually had a lot more faith in the Monuments Men after the last predictions, if you guys remember. But I kind of cooled on that a bit because I kind of came to my senses. I don't think they're going to give credit where credit is due yet. It'll happen eventually, but not quite yet. But we'll talk about that when we get to supporting actor. So we're going to go with the best original screenplay. And I'm going to start on this one. Best Original Screenplay, I still have Clinging Hopes for Blue Jasmine. And I am still running Nebraska. I am still running American Hustle. And obviously, still running Saving Mr. Banks. My fifth is the Dallas Buyers Club, which I wasn't sure about. It was down to 2, and I was thinking I was going to put one thing in there versus the other one. And I ended up switching the Dallas Buyers Club and Inside Llewyn Davis. So I'm running the Dallas Buyers Club for my final slot in Screenplay. Another movie we really don't know much about yet. We finally got a trailer for it, but I mean, that's about it. And obviously, no one in the world has seen Saving Mr. Banks yet. So, obviously, I hinge my hopes on this movie being absolutely huge, and I think it will be, but my colleague here seems to think that Hanks' love is going to go more towards Captain Phillips, so we'll see what happens come next year. So, AJ, what's your original screenplay lineup?
Well, my problem here is I have 5, but I have 4 that I don't have in here that I feel like I could.
Oh, interesting.
The ones I do have are American Hustle, Dallas Buyers Club, Fruitvale, Nebraska, and Prisoners. That leaves out Blue Jasmine, Inside Llewyn Davis, Gravity, and Rush, all of which could be in there.
Yeah, that's true. Especially if everyone continues to push Gravity like the juggernaut it is right now.
I heard a while back when it started to screen, people were really talking up the Dallas Buyers Club to be, it's just Dallas Buyers Club, there's no a lot more than people are expecting. So I'm basically going out with Dallas Buyers Club, throwing it in there.
I did the same thing, actually. I put a lot more stake in it this time than I did last time.
I feel a little uncomfortable not putting Woody Allen in there because Blue Jasmine has, obviously Blanchett's off the rails.
Yeah.
The acclaim for Blue Jasmine itself is probably enough to get Woody Allen in because he's always in.
Yeah, of course.
And I feel, with the confidence I have in Rush, I feel weird not having it in there. And people are going fucking insane for Gravity.
Yeah, they are.
And of course, you know, the Coen brothers are basically like Woody Allen. They'll just get in.
Yeah, of course.
But as of right now, those are the 5 I have.
Yeah.
So there's that.
We'll see where we go with that. AJ, I know this is your favorite category in the history of man. Best Supporting Actress.
We're going right in there?
Yes.
Alright. Once again, I've been trading people out.
I've done the same
all
thing.
All the way up to this particular moment. Alright. I have Jennifer Lawrence for American Hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think her name is Lupita Nyong'o. I heard somewhere it said pretty much exactly like it looks.
Yeah, that's correct.
Octavia Spencer for Fruitvale, June Squibb for Nebraska, and Oprah for The Butler. Obviously, at the very last minute, I got off the Naomi Harris train, but I'm not confident about that.
Yeah. We're very, very...
I'm not... The one I'm least confident in now is Octavia Spencer.
Yeah, she actually got bumped out. Well, actually, I had her in for like a split second. I bumped her out.
Before I actually... obviously, since this is a trend for a very long time, it always has been. For a split second there, before people started dismissing Adams completely, I had American Hustle getting double nominated here.
Mm-hmm.
But I scratched that idea.
So it's pulling it out. Yeah. Also with Amy Adams.
And I've never been on the Roberts train.
No.
But I could pay for that, so.
We'll see. There's a lot of differences on this one. I have Oprah for The Butler. And, of course, I think it's the biggest obviosity of the year. Jennifer Lawrence for American Hustle. I do also have Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave. I am sticking with my No Guts, No Glory of Sally Hawkins for Blue Jasmine. And until I know otherwise, my girl, Carey Mulligan for Inside Llewyn Davis. The Blue Jasmine train, it's kind of like, it doesn't really have that many people on it. But they're happy. They're happy to be there, actually. And when it comes down to it, I know Woody Allen is going to get a lot of acclaim for this movie. Whether I don't see it winning anything, but
people are talking about it might get more than we're thinking, but I'm not buying that.
Yeah, exactly.
They were starting to talk about him for director the other day.
It was an idea I had at one point, but I can't really go with it.
He didn't come from out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
For Midnight in Paris, but for a long time, nobody was thinking about him getting it for Midnight in Paris.
Exactly.
I think that was not that long ago enough to where they wouldn't put him in for fucking Blue Jasmine.
Well, the thing about it is everybody. It's funny because I brought up Sally Hawkins for Blue Jasmine, and it really wasn't based on much of anything. I just kind of wanted to put her in there. And it's funny because you have Janet McTeer for Albert Nobbs, and I now apparently am putting my hopes on Sally Hawkins being my surprise slide into the 5th slot. Not going to win anything, but it's going to be nice to see her get nominated. I will say that having not seen anything, and I do mean literally not seeing anything of Inside Llewyn Davis, I may be taking a gamble with Running Carrie, but I think the love for the movie might actually help in the long run if it gets the most acclaim that people think it's going to get, given the fact that it's the Coen brothers. So I know they're also talking up Oscar Isaac too, but I think the race is way too packed at this point for Best Actor. But yeah, that's basically what I have for that. Obviously, Oprah plus Oscar equals cha-ching. So I mean, and she's basically gonna be fighting Jennifer Lawrence, and like I said, Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave might be the one who kind of slips in and takes it all.
But at the same time, while you were gone, I read the script for Nebraska.
Okay.
And obviously, we saw the trailer 3 times the other day.
Yes.
June Squibb really has that.
I had her.
She has that performance they're really going to go for.
Yeah.
It's basically, I guess if you want to use another Payne movie, she's basically what Kathy Bates was with About Schmidt.
Yeah, I got that.
Kathy Bates got in.
It's true.
So, and maybe I have and I just don't remember. Off the top of my head, I've never really heard of her before this.
No.
But I don't know if she's a veteran actress or if she's somebody that just found. I don't know who she is. But
I don't really know much about her myself. We need to look into it.
Do more research than that. Just like, I did research on top of the lovely comment we got. Ryan Coogler is indeed black. And he's very young too. He's like 27.
Good lord, did not realize that.
So, which was I think was around the age Singleton was. If you want to throw that.
That's interesting.
If you want to throw that in there.
All right. We go from AJ's legit least favorite category to AJ's favorite category, which is Best Supporting Actor. And my race hasn't changed very much. Obviously, I'm putting a lot of hope in Saving Mr. Banks. Obviously, Tom Hanks plus Walt Disney equals Oscar. I really hope. Bradley Cooper for American Hustle, definitely. Michael Fassbender for 12 Years a Slave. And Jared Leto for Dallas Buyers Club. The one I slipped in here that I didn't have before, I went with it. It's Daniel Bruhl for Rush.
Which was a no-brainer the first time we did this, but you were being all defiant.
Well, I mean, okay, I switched him out for I switched John Goodman out, and John Goodman's time will come. It has to. He's in everything. It has to come.
Best pictures
exactly. So he's getting an Oscar of some sort somewhere down the road. Don't think this is the year. Now, I know a lot of people are talking him up for Inside Llewyn Davis. That's actually something I see a lot of people predicting it to slide into one of the categories. But I ran for. I know.
He's in one scene.
I know that. Yeah, Ruby Dee from American Gangster says hi.
That was a little different. Ruby Dee was like ancient, and she had the slap scene.
Yeah, that's true.
Not to mention, this goes into my age-old theory: supporting actress is always a piece of shit category.
Hence why he hates the category so much. But yeah, John Goodman's time will come, but it's not going to be this year. So I put in Daniel Bruhl for Rush, and I'm telling you, I think he's got a lot of stamina going into the race. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he's going to make an impact, if you will. I will say that my love for Rush, not love for the movie, I mean, I really like the movie, but I mean, my love for the movie Rush as pertains to a prediction kind of waned a bit. So I kind of had to bump it out of a couple categories. I had it in for a couple things, and then I did some research, and I was like, no, I can't really do that because there's other people here that need it more. So yeah, so Bruhl is my only nomination for Rush.
Right here, while we're right in the middle of this video, I'm regretting not having Russian screenplay.
I had Russian screenplay, but it was in the wrong category. So yeah. So we go right into AJ. Take it away, Best Actress.
I'm not supporting actor yet.
Oh yes, good lord, it's been a long day.
Okay. There's a couple things wrong here, but I'll get into that.
Okay.
I have Daniel Bruhl for Rush, Bradley Cooper for American Hustle, Fassbender for 12 Years a Slave, Gyllenhaal for Prisoners.
I thought about it.
And Jared Leto for Dallas Buyers Club. I lost my go-to guy. My go-to filler sight unseen was always Ruffalo for Foxcatcher.
Yeah, it was.
So I had to put Gyllenhaal in his place. Jared Leto and Daniel Bruhl they're there.
Yep.
There's no turning.
Michael Fassbender's there.
I'm getting ready to talk about that.
Really?
Apparently, American Hustle's finally being screened around California.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem, though, is you don't know, you hear these so-called reactions, but you don't know if they're bullshit or if they're real.
True.
Who's biased and who isn't, and who was just excited it's all pre-screening and who's thinking realistically.
Makes sense.
But apparently Cooper and Lawrence have been considered the high points of the movie.
Okay.
Before I heard that, I was just predicting Cooper because I needed somebody in that spot, and it seemed likely that it'd be somebody from American Hustle. Gyllenhaal, I'm not completely sold on, but he's gradually building.
Yeah.
And he just won the Hollywood Film Award. I don't think that means anything, but it's
an award's an award.
It's something.
Exactly.
Lee Daniels took director for that, and McConaughey took actor for it. But we'll see how that turns out. And as far as Fassbender's concerned, I've been thinking this in the back of my head. But I've just been seeing his name so much, I've just kind of been dismissing the thought. I'm not really thinking about it, but I'm going to think about it now. 12 Years a Slave screened, and it screened at TIFF, and everybody just went nuts for it. They were talking about it the way they're talking about Gravity now.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever. It's Schindler's List for black people, etc. But the thing was, I know he was mentioned, but you have Django and Chiwetel.
Yeah.
People are calling Chiwetel a revelation, and he's just getting these massive reviews. Despite the lock everybody has him as, I myself haven't really heard much about Fassbender. Actually, I think it's like I can't tell if I haven't really looked really far into it. I can't tell if it's just this assumption that everybody immediately jumped on. Mm-hmm. Like DiCaprio in the same role last year, and Shane in 2011.
Yep.
So maybe there's a bunch of reviews I haven't seen that basically confirm it. But the more I think about it, the more I think, where is this Fassbender thing really coming from?
Yeah. You mean he might be the one part of 12 Years a Slave that gets kind of shafted?
Yeah. The
Mark and the Fighter.
The character he plays could be off-putting too.
Didn't you say he's like a serious version of Calvin Candy?
Yeah. I know fucking, if you want to go back to Schindler's List, Ralph Fiennes got in for the part that he played, but even so, I think the Academy's a lot more soft than they were in 93, so.
Yeah. Walt's just won, so.
Well, regardless, apparently Fassbender's character was really, really, really fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
Apparently worse than Calvin Candy. As far as how sadistic his character is.
Okay.
But, like I said, I'll put him in there, of course, because he's just this running thing. But, like I said, I haven't really seen this, the actual support that's gotten him in all these predictions, really, now that I think about it.
I see him every time I see a prediction list anybody has.
But then again, he was also in there before the movie even screened.
That's true.
This could just be, this is kind of something that I think more people should probably think about. You know how most people get on the Academy for its laziness?
Yeah.
Do you ever think about the laziness that goes into predictions?
Yeah.
Like this.
True.
People were predicting Fassbender before 12 Years a Slave even screened just because of the part that it was. And now that the movie's been screened, I hear a lot about Chiwetel. I hear a lot about the girl. But I'm paranoid I'm not saying her name right, so I'm trying to as well as possible. Maybe people were just throwing Fassbender in by habit. But then again, maybe it's not such a bad move because then the Academy will throw him in by habit.
Well, it's like everybody thought it was a foregone conclusion he was going to get in for Shame. And he didn't. He got in everywhere else, but he didn't get in the Oscars. So that might be one of those cases again. Yeah, I never really thought about it that way, but yeah, you do have a point.
Like I said, maybe there are reviews I just haven't read that make him out to be the greatest thing ever, but I haven't seen them yet.
Maybe. So we're going to Best Actress now.
I guess I'd be sorry.
That would be you.
Alright. This one seems pretty safe. So These are the ones I'm most confident in, believe it or not. I have Cate Blanchett for Blue Jasmine, Sandra Bullock for Gravity, Judi Dench for Philomena, Meryl Streep for August, and Emma Thompson for Saving Mr. Banks. Thompson's the only one that I am a little iffy on.
I think that's the one you should be not iffy on whatsoever.
No, that's Blanchett and Bullock.
Those are obvious, though.
It's probably Dench, too. To be honest, I'm actually a little iffy. I mean, I know that's the Academy rule and everything, but I actually am still a little iffy when I put Streep down. Because, you know.
Well, obviously I had Streep last month when we did this. I switched her out this time around, actually. I have the same exact thing you have. Exact same list you have, with the exception of I didn't know about this whole controversy when it comes to a category. So I have Amy Adams for American Hustle, which may end up biting me pretty hard at the end. Which
they love to nominate her. Maybe once they get it figured out.
Everyone has been saying Cate Blanchett's going to win, not run, win, and I haven't heard anything more than that. Otherwise, honestly, I don't see anybody predicting anybody other than Cate Blanchett to win at this moment.
This confuses me though, because when you ask people why they think Blanchett's going to win this early, when Blue Jasmine came out in fucking July, people were saying she was going to win.
Yeah.
They say because she's just too good, she can't lose. Which really confuses me because these are pretty much the same people that will tell you the Academy never picks the good performances. Like, there are some people that say most of the time I liked all of the other nominees better than the one they actually chose.
I know a lot of the general public would say that.
But now, to back up their point for Blanchett, they say she's too good to not win. So I don't know if these people are confused or if they think it's like a Daniel Day-Lewis thing. Or in the case of Daniel Day-Lewis with There Will Be Blood and Lincoln, you could make the point, yeah, he was too good to lose. I don't know.
Waltz and Bastards.
Yeah.
He was too good to lose. Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, he's too good to lose.
Forrest Whitaker, Last King of Scotland.
Yes.
The Queen, all those. But the thing is the one point I think they have here is if you look at people in the industry, this was around the time, it wasn't right after Blue Jasmine came out, but it was like maybe back in like mid-August.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of quotes from a shitload of people in the industry, like actors and directors.
Yeah.
Just fucking gushing. Not about Blue Jasmine, just gushing about how much they fucking love Blanchett, the person. Yeah. Which will severely help her.
Yeah, 100%.
So there's that.
But
I'm sure Bullock's probably the same way, so it's basically going to be a battle of the dead. I don't think the fact that Bullock won so recently is going to matter.
No.
I'm not saying she's going to win, but I'm not saying she's going to absolutely lose to Blanchett 100%.
I'd say, once again, call me biased if you will, but don't count on Emma Thompson either. Honestly, from what people say, it sounds like...
If Bullock and Blanchett lose, it's going to be Dench. Dench is so beloved in the industry, but only has one win for an 8-minute performance.
Good God.
Her having a win in leading would not be surprising. Especially since she's like so old she can't even read her scripts now. So, you know.
I hope that there's... once the movie is released in a couple months, I hope that the love that I have for Saving Mr. Banks continues for the Academy. So we'll see.
That was kind of put insensitively. I said she's too old.
Yeah.
She has an eyesight problem. That's what it is.
Cataracts, stuff like that.
But yeah, she has to have her scripts read out loud to her and remembers her lines that way now.
It's going to Best Actor. I'm happy with this list. I'm not happy. I'm not sure about a couple of them, but I think I'm pretty happy with what I've got. So I did end up taking your ideal that if you got to run Hanks for one, you have to run him for both, or you run him for Captain Phillips. Well, obviously, I'm not giving up on Saving Mr. Banks until the well is dry. So, obviously...
There's even some people saying he'll either run for both or run for none.
That could happen, too. So, I obviously have him for Captain Phillips as my first Best Actor. I'm sticking with Bruce Stern for Nebraska. I think it's pretty much a guarantee at this point. I do also have Robert Redford for All Is Lost, which I know you're still not on that bandwagon yet, and I understand. Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club, and I did put Chiwetel in for 12 Years a Slave, so I'm pretty confident with most of that lineup, to be totally honest. I think that's pretty much going to be almost to a T of what the Oscar voters are going to go for next year. So, AJ, any thoughts? Other than not running Redford and Dern in the same category?
I just, even after having seen All Is Lost trailer the other day, I just don't see it.
I don't either, but I mean, I'm going with pretty much what other people are saying, based upon what I'm seeing too. Like the trailer, it was kind of underwhelming, but I love the Nebraska trailer, and I think Bruce Dern is a guarantee, a absolute guarantee, and I think Matthew McConaughey is a guarantee at this point too.
Well, obviously, most people are.
And Chiwetel is definitely a guarantee right at this moment.
Pretty much, almost everybody's in the mindset that the Dern's to lose. Too.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
So
he could be Alan Arkin this year.
Except in leading.
Yes. I'm not saying in the same category. I'm saying he could be like
when he was
Alan Arkin this year.
When they were talking about him being in supporting, I was thinking more along the lines of Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
Because Plummer won everything. Arkin won the BAFTA and then unexpectedly won the big one.
Exactly. All right, so it looks like we are going into Best Director.
I gotta say actor, dude.
But first, AJ is going to go into Best Actor.
Alright. We only have one difference, of course.
As usual.
I have Bruce Dern from Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Chiwetel for 12 Years a Slave. Hanks for Captain Phillips.
Yep.
McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club.
I know what you're going to say.
I had Michael B. Jordan.
I did too.
I finally got off the Michael B. Jordan train. There is a train I will not get off.
I know.
For some reason...
Speaking of The Last King of Scotland.
I will not get off the Forrest Whitaker train just yet.
I have totally pulled all my hopes for Fruitvale and The Butler with the exception of Oprah. And I think that may be a problem in the long run, but I mean, it's just how I see things.
Because Weinstein has three that he's really going to push,
yes.
Which is August, The Butler, and Philomena.
And I have all three represented one way or another.
And then people are going back and forth. There's people who think The Butler will do really well, and there's people who think it'll fizzle out. I kind of have it in the middle.
So The Butler's not The Help this year.
The Help actually did not do as well as most people thought.
The Butler is The Help this year, then.
Because The Help only got picture and the 3 acting nominations. It missed out in screenplay.
That's true.
So
The Butler is The Help this year.
Granted, one of those acting nominations was a win, but it's expected to have 2 wins, and it didn't.
Yeah, we were very happy about that, actually.
Yeah, I just got this feeling about Whitaker. I don't know.
It might be a mistake on my part with not picking him, not choosing him in my list. But I mean, I moved Hanks in for Captain Phillips, and I'm still not sure about that one. That's the one I'm not sure about. And I think that, and I'm still not sure about Robert Redford at this point either. I mean, Chiwetel, McConaughey, and Dern, I think, are locked.
Redford's distributor's not helping anything either.
Who's the distributor?
Roadside Attractions.
Dear God, why? No mainstream theater get Roadside Attractions movies.
Apparently, Roadside Attractions, believe it or not, is not necessarily known for its campaigning skills.
No, it is not.
He'd basically have to get on solely because he's Robert Redford. And the fact that the guy that made the movie, they clearly like Margin Call. They gave him a nomination, so...
Yeah, I like Margin Call a lot, actually.
So we'll see what happens there.
Best Director. Is it time now?
I'm going first.
Yeah. It means you...
There's one of these I'm really sure about, one I'm pretty sure about, the other 3 are fucking guesses. One of them I'm also pretty sure about, but,
I'm unsure.
I have Alfonso Cuarón for Gravity, obviously. I have Ron Howard for Rush. Steve McQueen for 12 Years a Slave. Alexander Payne from Nebraska. And David O. Russell for American Hustle. David O. Russell's a complete guess because nobody really knows anything about American Hustle or how well it's going to do. But after having seen, Howard was on my... I actually felt confident in Ron Howard the first time I did this.
Okay.
And then I had a lot of people trying to drive me away from it. But even after having seen Rush, I could still see it happening.
Yeah. I had to bump him out.
You sound devastated.
Yeah, it may not be a good idea, but I had to bump him out.
I know what you did.
Well, he's already a guarantee anyway. I bumped him out for someone else. I have Alfonso Cuarón for Gravity. I also have David O. Russell for American Hustle. I now have Steve McQueen for 12 Years a Slave.
I don't know why you're so hesitant on that.
Well, no, I had to bump out Ron Howard for Rush for that one, actually. I have Alexander Payne for Nebraska, and of course, I guess you could call it No Guts, No Glory, John Lee Hancock for Saving Mr. Banks, which I'm actually starting to see in lineups now. So it's not just me.
In this case, it'd be No Brains, No Glory. Sorry.
I don't like The Blind Side, but apparently the Academy did.
It only got 2 nominations.
Yes, but it captivated the entire world.
I know one of those was picture and the other was a win in a major category, but regardless.
No comment. Cuarón, after watching Gravity and actually knowing we're going to be seeing Gravity in a couple hours again, brilliant film. I said a couple hours.
To me, a few is 3 or more.
I never go with that. I never have. I don't know why. I just don't.
Well, a couple, certainly not 3.
No. Depends on what country you're in. So, Steve McQueen, yes, I finally put him in. I don't think I'm taking him out anytime soon. I think I'm very confident in my my director lineup, honestly. I don't care. I'm very confident. And I will stay on the Hancock bandwagon until the wheels fall off. Until I know that he's completely out of the race, I'm staying on this train. It's a very happy train. It's got mouse ears and everything. It's amazing. But, yeah, I really think that I like my lineup. I think it works really well. And maybe not running Ron Howard is a bad idea, but I'm not sure. It just kind of depends. I still only have Daniel Bruhl as the only thing I'm running for Rush at all.
The thing about Howard is I feel comfortable predicting him.
Yeah.
But him missing out would totally not be a surprise. So it's kind of a middle.
Ben Affleck and Catherine Bigelow last year. Great directors can miss this race. That's what I think is going to happen with the Coen brothers, too.
Yeah, that's like, people have a tendency, I know last year was a total clusterfuck.
It was amazing.
But, people have this bad habit of assuming just because, like, one weird thing can happen in 1 year that's never happened before, and then suddenly people think that weird thing's going to happen every year after it.
No, I don't believe it's going to happen every year. I'm just saying there is a possibility it could happen because now it's on the table. It's not a guarantee.
Because every time you see people doing predictions, you usually see this person's going to be this year's this person. And
yeah.
That's just people trying to find logic when really all we're fucking doing is guessing here.
It's September, so needless to say, we're still just guessing at this point.
People give the Academy shit for the choices they make, and most of the Academy choices are bullshit.
Yes.
But regardless, the Academy always does at least a few things that are totally unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So people, like, even the experts, they call themselves, the ones that, like,
get paid to do this?
Yeah, work for websites and shit, that do the exact same thing we're doing. It's all just guessing.
Just because we're chilling out in Wayne's basement right now doesn't mean that we're not any more. They're not more credible than we are.
Like when Vegas does odds on this, what are these odds based on?
They do odds on wrestling now. I've seen that. I don't know what. I mean, I guess you pull a money ball basically and you just try to get all the numbers to crunch the right way to what movie is going to win because of statistics, and statistics are out the window most of the time.
They're broken every year.
Yeah, absolutely.
What happened to, in 2011, it was, well, Meryl Streep is obviously not going to win because she won't win a third one. And then the next year it was, well, Daniel Day-Lewis won't win because they just gave a third one to somebody already. And Day-Lewis was even a bigger case because all his were in leading. Yeah. Streep had one in supporting, her first one for Cowards.
That's why I'm waiting for Christoph Waltz to get a leading performance. performance.
He's got the Gilliam movie, but that's not going to do anything for him.
No, especially the last Gilliam movie didn't really do anything anywhere.
It got in like costume and art direction, I think. It got in one of those or both of them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Talking about Dr. Parnassus, I think.
Yes.
I think has he not done one since then?
I don't believe so. If he did, it's not something that's
We're totally off track.
major. Let's talk about our final category of the evening. That is Best Picture, and AJ has set the number at 9. So
for some reason, that's what they always end up at.
If we end up going less, then that'll end up happening. If we go to 10, that might end up happening.
Really?
Who knows?
Predicting picture is really, it doesn't really matter because there's so many. Like, it's definitely not if there were 5, which for God's fucking sake, go back to 5, please.
Yeah.
I know great movies will miss out, but
it's more prestigious that way.
Yeah, there's really.
I love District 9, but it's a Best Picture nomination.
There's barely any glory in being nominated for Best Picture anymore. I have, just because I looked at the other nominations I had and did the math. American Hustle, August, The Butler, Dallas Buyers Club, Fruitvale, Gravity, Nebraska, Rush, and 12 Years a Slave.
There are 3 differences on my list.
Obviously, Dallas Buyers Club kind of sticks out there, but it's only when I realized I have it in for actor, supporting actor, and screenplay. I think that'd be enough to actually get it in there.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to realize if there's, like I said, I kept wanting to throw Captain Phillips in there, depending on how it does. But if that were the case, I'd have it in the screenplay. It drives me insane. I did this with Nebraska this time, so I thought I was evening things out by putting Nebraska in screenplay. Mm-hmm. So now Nebraska looks better, having picture, director, actor, supporting actress, and screenplay. Mm-hmm. It looks better in picture. But now I fucked over Rush, because I have Rush in picture and director, but not in screenplay.
Yeah.
And it feels off. I mean, I know there's always a case of a movie that gets a picture director nomination, but it's not a screenplay. It's usually a big budget movie, though.
Yeah.
Not a movie like Rush or Nebraska. So I don't fucking know what to do about that.
Yeah.
I have a month to figure it out.
Yes, we do. My Best Picture race at this point is the Dallas Buyers Club. So August, American Hustle, The Monuments Men, Saving Mr. Banks, Inside Llewyn Davis, Nebraska, Gravity, and 12 Years a Slave. So a lot of things have changed, actually. I've completely pulled hopes for The Butler and Fruitvale in picture, which may end up biting me at the very end. Who knows?
I have The Monuments Men and Inside Llewyn Davis missing out completely in the Big 8. That's probably not good. But I just can't tell. Especially with The Monuments Men.
I feel bad about not being able to do more with Rush. I can't justify doing anything. And I really feel bad about Prisoners. I mean, after watching Prisoners, I'd love to put it somewhere. I just have no place to put it. At this moment, of course, that is.
Cinematography. Everybody's talking about Deacons.
Well, we're talking about, like, tech awards and stuff we're not even covering on there, like editing. I mean, I could throw it into that, but I mean, we're not covering that stuff right now, so I can't really talk about that stuff. So, have you noticed our predictions have changed quite a bit in the last month? So, and I'm sure they'll change quite a bit in the next month. So, I want to thank everyone for watching, and a lot of movie content on this channel. We've got a brand new Versus coming out and tomorrow, and of course our AJ's movie reviews this week. We review 8 movies. This is like almost 2.5 hours of content, folks, and it's really good. I'm not just saying this because I'm biased. He's my best friend. I'm saying it because it's really good, and it's actually really funny, too. And if you don't like Baggage Claim, you're going to love this review. Mark my words. So in the meantime, I thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until next month, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about it.